Okay, so let's make a template.
Let's do it.
Sound good? Okay,
yep.
So here's that piece of the bow saw. That's the frame, okay? Where it's mortised right here. This is your through hole here. Okay, on the newer version of the bow saw, we're not gonna do that size. We're gonna bore it 1/4 inch on the drill press.
Okay.
That'll be an 8mm diameter. Look how cool this old saw is. You can actually see the layout lines with the marking gauge that craftsman used. And this is a critical part here. There's a little notch here. We call this the horn. Okay, we're going to make a template of this.
Okay.
And I was just gonna say, hey, look, I got a template. Let's go right to the router table. But I think it's really important to show people how to make a template. It's
sure.
a lot of fun doing it. Once you make one of these, if you're careful, that'll last a very long time. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place this on here. I'm gonna look at this a little bit, and this has got a slight angle. We can recreate that later because we're gonna be rounding over with a rasp.
Okay.
So we're gonna take it like this, pretty even. Now what's really cool is, this is why I like this picker, okay, is I've extended the lead here. So I can take that, I'm gonna have you do this, and I'm gonna put it at a perfect 90 like this. So we can start tracing this. Okay, and I'm just gonna bring it right in here and keep it at a 90 like that, and I'm gonna have you do the outside. Okay? And I'm just gonna come over here, I'm gonna start where the notch is, and I'm gonna have you trace that side. I'm gonna hold it right there. So you can do that. Extend that lead.
Okay.
Okay. And what'll be nice is when we do our final shaping with that Nicholson.
Okay.
Okay, we'll make sure that it fits your hand perfect, right where you need, where you'll be using it and sawing with.
Okay.
Cool?
Custom, baby.
Custom. So there you go. Now what we're gonna do is we have our basic layout. See how it seems thicker right here? It is because the outside is where we traced it, but it's thinner here. It is that thick, but it's thinner here because it's rounded over.
Oh, okay.
So we'll take it over to the scroll saw and we'll do a cutout of this.
Awesome, let's do it.
You betcha.
What is this?
Okay, good. This is known as a scroll saw. You've used the bandsaw before?
Yes.
Okay. This is the unit I use when I get some tight scrolling.
Okay.
Now, when we're cutting today, I'll show you, I'll do some relief cuts, and then I'll have you mess around with it a little bit.
Okay.
You'll see I put some tension on here, okay, where it's loose, but as I bring it up, I get the tension. I also set this part here, okay, this is holding down the material. I set that in tension so it doesn't come flying up. Let me give it a little more tension. There we go. So that's locked under there, and this is to blow the sawdust away.
Okay.
So just like a bandsaw, it's just a lot thinner and a lot more control.
Okay.
And this is a fun saw to use. So I'll start doing some relief cuts. Chris, come in here and see this so you can see. We're not going to cut to the line. Exact, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay? See how I'm bringing it right in? Yep. And I'll adjust that dust extraction. We will cut fairly close because we're going to sand to this line with the oscillating spindle sander. Okay? But you can see where I can really turn this saw absolutely perfect on a dime. Wow. See that? So you can see you can actually cut teardrops with it. Just so you get used to this. So I'm going to have you come right about here, and then I want you to turn it like I did. Okay. Just so you get the feel of the control you have. And I'm going to show you something really cool as you do this. Okay, now start to turn it. Okay, stop. Let go. Oh. So if you're ever, when you're using a scroll saw, you're ever, oh no, it's starting to wander, just stop.
Okay.
And then you can correct it. See how close I am getting to that horn? Oh, wow. And then you come in just like this, watch. You just got to be careful with cuts like this. Okay, so remember, you can cut to the line, but if that wanders, it might be off a little. So stay, if you can, a little outside the line. We'll sand up to it. Now, there'll be parts on here where, because this is your first time, it may not be perfect.
Well, that's okay, right?
No one will know except you and I, and maybe Chris.
He'll never let me forget.
But we want to make sure that there's certain areas that, like, this has to be flat right in here.
Okay.
Okay, this horn doesn't have to, you see, I cut on this horn, I cut close. We'll refine all of that on the oscillating drum sander.
Okay.
So let's practice on this one. I'll turn it on for you. You just take your time. Damn, you're a natural, Big D.
You got good hands, I've been told.
Yeah. You're gonna come up, keep going. I'll get that out of there for you. So now, that was a perfect cut, Big D. We'll sand that flush. And I'm gonna get this started for you, okay, where I'm right on the line, and I'm gonna have you come in here. See how you can stop and start? So I'm gonna have you come in, so go ahead and start it.
Okay.
Okay, good. And just take your time. And remember, this is a lever here, so you can get some great control with that. Yep. There you go, you're doing good. Keep coming. Yeah, come, oh, there you go. Now you're back on the line. And this is your first time using a scroll saw. You're doing absolutely fantastic. Stay right on that line. After a while using a scroll saw, the more you stay on the line, the less sanding you have to do. Okay, good. Keep, oh, wait, keep going, dog. You're doing good, man. And sometimes some hand sanding too will actually perfect it. It's okay, it's okay. You're doing good. You're doing great. Stay right on that line. See how that blows it away so you can see it? Then when you get right about here, come right out. Okay? Perfect.
Come right out?
Yep, come right out. Perfect. Feel that?
The feeler gauges.
Yep, you can refine that, and that's actually going to fit perfect in your hand. Okay, as I'm doing this, you're going to notice this is a really small piece, right, Big D? Yep. Okay, and as I come around this bend, okay, I'm going to come out, and I want to get rid of that small piece. Look how close that is to the blade.
That's a note for me, dog.
Okay, so that's why I always have a pencil readily available to take it out of the way, and I use the eraser end, okay? So there you go. That's what we call the Big D bump. But you see that right there? We'll take care of that with the oscillator. Even this, when I'm ever making a template, I'm never too worried about getting exactly to the line.
Okay, makes sense.
Cool. Okay, so what'd you do? Not bad. All right, we've got a few bumps. We'll take that to the oscillating spindle sander. The only part I believe is really critical on this is this flat spot.
Okay.
Okay, that flat spot came out nice, but this one, we're going to make sure it's dead flat. So what I did is I took a piece of sandpaper here, put it off of a corner, and I got a dead flat surface here. And you see how that's fairing right out?
Nice.
Okay, so that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that that's dead flat. And you'll see that come about. And what I always look for is you could feel that, but you see right there, there's a little ridge. That'll transfer when we're using it as the template on the router table. So it's just a back and forth like this, trying to get it exactly where you need it. And we'll take those lines or those undulations out of there, and there you go.
Nice.
Perfect.
I gotta ask, what's this?
It's a oscillating spindle sander, and you'll see you can get different diameters. So if this was a tighter curve, I'd probably put in a smaller diameter spindle with paper. But you're gonna notice something. If I had this on a drill press, what you can do, you can take a drum and put it on there. You're only gonna use this amount of sandpaper. With an oscillator, okay, and you're gonna see, and Chris, hopefully you get in here, see how I'm taking it right to the line? And you just take your time and you slowly refine that shape. And you can take out, I'm gonna have you take out that bump, but you're gonna see how that slowly takes you right to the line where you need to be for that template. And you don't stay in one spot, you work it back and forth. And you'll see how that's starting to fare out at a perfect 90 degrees.
Nice.
Okay, and we got some work ahead of us.
All right.
So I'm gonna have you come in here and start working that in. And then slowly work it up in here too, so you don't concentrate on that one area. And that's how you make a template.
Wow, okay.
Okay, cool. Let's see how that feels. And you always go like this with your finger. And you can feel that bump, so I'd work that in there. See, it stops there. That's fine all the way back. And start working it in here. And the more of these bumps you get out of there, when this goes to the router table, it'll always be refined. But you're getting the knack of this really good.
I'm a good teacher.
Sometimes I'll do this. You know it's right there, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's look at it. And that's tough to discern, so this is where I would go, something like this. This is pretty good right here. I would just work that area in there.
Does it matter which side of the template?
No, because this is at a perfect 90. Remember, the more you perfect your template, the less work you will have in the long run at the router table.
That makes too much sense.
Always make sure that template's perfect, or it's close to perfect. There will be some handwork afterwards. Go ahead and turn it up. Wow. So that's your first template.
Awesome.
There you go. So, as you can see, taking an antique bow saw frame and creating a template. Is this your first one?
It's my very first one.
He did a really great job. So there you go, and we will continue with the bow saw build and taking that template onto some cherry and making sure we can get absolutely perfect parts. So as we always say,
be positive
and stay sharp.